So, good evening, Dr. Johnson. We are here once again dealing with an important topic. So, we want your reaction on quantum nuclear, like in your quantum nuclear physics background. We want a reaction to certain people who are well known in the society. So, let me introduce myself again, once again, for people who do not know. My name is Sherry Paul Sunny. I'm an engineer by profession, an electronics and instrumentation engineer. And uh, and I think so, Dr. Johnson, if you can introduce yourself because you're the expert on the panel today.
Sure. My name is Johnson CPhilip, officially Dr. Johnson. I'm an expert in quantum nuclear physics. Within quantum nuclear physics, I'm an expert in a very exotic field known as quantum chromodynamics. I will talk of that later. I'm also very much deeply interested in the Bible, and I would be answering questions which engineer Sherry would be asking me, and I might even supplement the answers with additional information that I deem necessary. Okay, so you are welcome to ask questions since you want to ask questions about probably the claims made by four people in the name of quantum and nuclear physics. Perhaps you can tell us about the first person and then start asking questions.
Sure, Dr. Johnson. So let me just share the kind of people who are we're going to deal with today. So this is the first person I'm just sharing. His name is Param Shiva Swami Nithyananda, and the details about him, his real name was Arunachalam Rajashekharan, and it is said that he's got a diploma in mechanical engineering between 1990 to 1993, which would be his age when he got the diploma. It would be 15 years. So a lot of people are suspicious about it because the engineering college from where he had done his graduation, a lot of people are his own devotees. So that is the issue. So I cannot vouch for his engineering background, but he's like his birthplace is from Tamil Nadu, and he's just 47 years now. So he is he has multiple followers. So I'll just close this. He's got some bunch of questions, which is he's challenged Albert Einstein. He's challenged a lot of people because of his knowledge. So I just want to ask questions from Swami Nityananda's. And so the first question I want to ask, you must have seen his video
I did.
where he debunks, where he says that, Einstein is wrong and
Yes,
that E is equal to mc square
yes,
is false. It is something about intensity and continuity. So
yes,
could you explain, like, has Swami Nityananda debunked Einstein's theory of relativity and give a little background about what it is?
yes. Albert Einstein was one of the greatest scientists that we had in the 20th century. He introduced theory of relativity, special theory of relativity, general theory of relativity, and he also solved a great problem in physics related to um, uh, emission of electrons from matter, photoelectric effect. He was given the Nobel Prize for his equation on photoelectric effect. Now, the theory of relativity is a highly mathematical equation, and it is usually the mathematical part is usually taught only to BSc final physics students because a complex mathematics is involved. And when we study special theory of relativity, one of the implications is that matter can be converted into energy and energy can be converted into matter. And the quantity of matter and the quantity of energy are linked with an equation known as E is equal to mc square, where E is the energy produced, m is the mass produced, and c is the velocity of light. Uh, Einstein took many long years of mathematical calculation and also input from physical observations to arrive at this theory. And what this sannyasi has done is exactly the way a magician does. A magician comes, you put a few coins on table, he puts a hat on it, shoo, he lifts the hat and the coins are gone. That is the way he has debunked E is equal to mc square. Let me tell you, E is equal to mc square is no magic. So that with a magical trick you can debunk it. If it has to be debunked, somebody should be proficient in mathematics, he should go to the root of the equation and show that the equation is wrong. He has not done it. He just said, I've debunked,
mm,
and it is done. That's not the way it is done. If we go to a medical doctor and medical doctor says you have a serious disease, I healed you.
mm.
Not any, even an imbecile will not believe that way. That is the way of healing. So he has not debunked anything. First thing. Second thing, uh, today there are hundreds upon hundreds of uh, atomic energy plants which produce electricity with the help of atomic energy. That is based upon E is equal to mc square. So if Swamiji is right, all these atomic electricity production centers, they are probably producing electricity through meditation, not through E is equal to mc square. See, atomic energy depends upon E is equal to mc square. Also, a new generation of atomic energy machines are being developed known as tokamak. And tokamak produces maybe 1,000 or 10,000 times more than the present atomic energy or atomic electricity through atomic energy that we have. Tokamak also depends upon E is equal to mc square. So from early 1900s, it's a very highly established mathematical proof which has been established physically. And for the last 120 years or so, the whole world has been reaping the results of E is equal to mc square. The Swamiji was using a mic which needs electricity. Probably a part of that electricity was coming from some atomic thermal power plant. So just saying that I have debunked E is equal to mc square, uh, anybody can say anything. It doesn't debunk anything. Just
So,
as if I say, Sherry, I made you invisible. You don't become invisible that way. So it's a wishful statement. And the whole world, there are so many other things that depend upon E is equal to mc square. Sannyasi cannot just come and say that I have debunked. He has done nothing except preach a slogan in front of you. We should not be taken by slogans. Science needs science. Slogans, propaganda needs slogans. This is propaganda.
he like to add to that, like he would. This is a little weird, but he says like one of the reasons why you do not understand or people do not understand is because you have a non-veg crooked brain, whereas he's got a vegetarian brain. So is there any scientific thing behind that? Like only quantum physics can be only understood by people who are vegetarians.
That's a very interesting thing. Quantum nuclear physics was developed in the West. E is equal to mc square was developed in the West. Almost all major theories of physics were developed in the West. Some were developed in Japan. All these scientists were non-vegetarians, not vegetarians. Okay? Among scientists, I hardly know anybody who is a vegetarian. And if only vegetarianism can help us to understand these things, then majority of the discoveries should have been made by vegetarians. But please remember, look at the hard facts of science and hard facts of society. Americans, Europeans, Japanese, Germans, these are people, and people from Israel, these are people working at the cutting edge of science. And now China,
Right.
um, they're all non-vegetarians.
Mm.
So if what the Swami says is right, these people would not have been able to develop anything, but they are developing the major things. So what
Right.
he says is absolutely no empirical evidence. Rather, empirical evidence goes exactly against his claims. And let me once again say, these are slogans. Slogans to brainwash people who are easy prey,
Right.
and slogans are good to trap them. But anybody who has a science background should not be taken or trapped by these slogans.
So, like, just one more to add on this only. Someone would say, like, but he's got so many followers around the world, and he's got an island now. So so many people believe in him that he is right. So how would you refute somebody like that, where they make an argument, so many people believe in him and give him so much money?
Okay.
So
Proof and refutation is not based on the popularity of a person.
fallacy.
That should be clear. Uh, I come from Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh were known for the pirates, the dacoits. And many of them had tens of thousands of followers. Just because they had tens of thousands of followers, does it mean they were genuine humans or they were simply plunderers? So just because a person has followers doesn't mean that he's a benevolent person, doesn't mean that he's a scientist, doesn't even mean that he has scientific knowledge. And therefore, the number of followers doesn't mean anything when it comes to discussing of scientific concepts. It only means that he was clever enough
Hmm.
to trap a lot of people into following him and financially supporting him. That's all, nothing more than that.
I think so. That makes real sense.
Yes,
So, but like as I said, like we don't know whether he's actually got a full engineering degree. But the next person that we're going to talk about, he is like you would be surprised that he is actually from the science background. That also from AIMMS, I think so, and he is a fine doctor who
would you
is
be
settled in
able
the
to
United
show a
States and is very
picture?
famous. So
Would
I'll
you,
share his
okay,
picture, and that person is Deepak Chopra, right? He's a well-known person in the West. He had come on Oprah show, and he's been influenced in the West with New Age philosophies. Medical professional or doctor, studied from New Delhi, like is probably 78, and so we know something about him. So he talks about something called as quantum healing. So I'll just stop the share over here. But he talks about quantum healing. So I just want to ask question, what exactly? Because I've tried to learn a little bit of quantum physics. I never found the chapter on quantum healing over there. So what is quantum healing, and what in the world is like such an intelligent person, a doctor? We
yes,
respect people like doctors. What was he talking about? Could you
okay,
put a light on that?
okay. First thing, uh, just because a person is respected, it doesn't make him a scientist. Just because a person is respected, it doesn't make him anything except that he is respected in a certain field. Okay. Did you confirm that he is an MD, really an
Yes,
MD from?
he's an actual MD. He's an actual
Good,
MD.
good. Ah. Now, coming to quantum healing, uh, we live in a generation where certain catchphrases can make you very, very popular because people are dumb. They sit like this when you use those catchphrases, and catchphrases applied at the right audience at the right time means a lot of money. And this guy has made a lot of money through his books and
Right.
through his lectures. But what he says about quantum healing is simply a slogan. What is a slogan? A slogan is a combination of words which seems to say something, but which actually says nothing. For example, I had a friend, he always used to say, do you want the truth or do you want statistics? As though statistics is against truth.
Hmm.
Actually, quantitative truth is always estimated with the help of statistics. So a slogan is something like judo, where you try to attack an opponent and the opponent uses the force of your own body to throw you. A slogan does the same thing. So all this quantum healing is just a lot of humbug,
Hmm.
lot of slogan to
Hmm.
misguide people who cannot understand the ABC of quantum.
Hmm.
Let me give you an example. Uh, I have studied naturopathy. I love naturopathy. I'm not against allopathy, but I love naturopathy. And if I start a clinic, I can start healing people very well with the help of quantum energy. How do I have quantum energy? Well, I will say take a glass of water, and if there is an eastern window in your house, place it there so that morning sunlight may fall on it, enrich it with quantum energies, and then the first thing you do is drink that water when you get up, and quantum energy will heal you. people will believe such slogans and they will start drinking regularly, and they may see a lot of energy, a lot of healing. It's not because of any quantum energy, it is because empty stomach, if you drink a glass of water, it helps you. But just to make you drink a glass of water, I have woven a web of deception around that glass of water.
Right.
Another example. Earlier in my introduction, I said I'm a specialist in quantum nuclear physics, but within quantum nuclear physics, I'm a specialist in quantum chromodynamics. Now, chroma means color. So I can say that those patients who need special treatment, I will give them not only quantum water, I will give them quantum chromodynamic water. And chromo means color. So I will give them 7 differently colored glasses. I will say, Monday, you keep this one in front of the glass. Tuesday, you keep. So chroma is there. See, different colors are there and chroma means color. And I will say, this is an advanced treatment for those patients who pay me extra. This is quantum chromodynamic treatment. Here, quantum treatment, quantum chromodynamics, all of this is plain humbug. Plain humbug. When actually there is a tiny truth. Energy, the smallest particle of energy. Energy is particle as well as wave. Let me remind you, smallest particle of energy is known as quanta.
Mm.
So when sunlight falls, quanta are falling on it. And therefore, if I claim that this is quantum water, there is nothing wrong. But at the same time, there is nothing like quantum water because all water kept everywhere, light falls on it. Light is absorbed by it. So there is nothing special in this quantum water that I am giving. There is nothing special in the quantum chromodynamic medicine I am giving. It's all fooling people. And it is seen that people want to be fooled. Instead of going to a regular doctor, a lot of people visit quacks, well-known quacks, and they are healed because it is um, their faith that heals them. So what you see in this Dr. Chopra and this quantum healing and everything is just a word play.
Right.
There is absolutely no empirical evidence. Please remember, science goes by empirical evidence. Science of medicine also goes by empirical evidence. If a medicine is developed for high blood pressure, it is given to so many trial groups. And after all the trials give promising result, only then is the medicine released. So medical sciences depend upon empirical evidence. There is absolutely no empirical evidence. This is all absolutely, what should I say, fooling people with the help of slogan. The actual words which come to my mind, they will be unparliamentary, so I'll not use those words.
So like in this case, like for example, now my concern with this particular person is that he actually has a medical degree.
Yes.
So the question arises over here is that, for example, if there's a guy who's just studied sixth standard, is trying to learn physics or something, or science basic, like sixth, seventh, like it's great, he's just learning physics, and he tells that you don't know physics. Because you are highly advanced in physics, you've done that kind of education. So in the same way, if somebody is asking, somebody says Deepak Chopra doesn't know quantum healing, is talking rubbish, like a normal person who doesn't have a expertise in this, like physics or healing. So would Deepak Chopra say, I am a doctor, medical profession, so he must be knowing, people might be saying he must be knowing about healing because he's a doctor.
Yes.
So how do you respond? How do we deal with that?
Let me start with a very interesting question. Somebody is speaking about the intricacies of Indian classical music. And a medical doctor comes and says that it is all humbug. And you ask, how do you know? I'm a medical doctor. I have a medical degree, and therefore I can vouch that this is all humbug. Would you accept it?
No, he's not
Would
expert at this.
would an imbecile accept it? No, because Indian classical music is an extremely complex mathematical musical system. So just because a person is an authority, it doesn't mean that all what he says is authoritative.
Right.
And what Deepak Chopra claims have never been demonstrated empirically.
Right.
So they are not authority. That is the answer. Now, you may want to ask one thing. How do we explain it to the common man?
Right.
That is where your role and my role comes. We have to develop something among people that is sorely missing, and that is discernment. That
Right.
is critical thinking. Critical thinking is not criticism.
Hmm.
Critical thinking is evaluation. Is
Right.
it true?
Right.
So common people need to be educated and trained in critical thinking.
Right.
Now, somebody may say, "Yo, that's a very difficult thing." No, critical thinking is not as difficult as it sounds. It's the same way with mathematics. Yo, people will say mathematics, I don't understand mathematics. Who doesn't understand 1, 2, 3, 4? Who doesn't understand that 2 plus 2 is 4? Basics, everybody understands. So just because the advanced portions a person cannot understand, it doesn't mean that he cannot understand the easy portions. In the same way, discernment has advanced levels, simple levels.
Right.
Anybody can understand the simple levels, and we have to cultivate, inculcate discernment in people. We have to inculcate critical thinking in people. Then only can this problem be solved.
Right. So I mean, can it be said that this is something like a fallacy to authority, where the person, just because he's a doctor,
Yes.
doesn't mean whatever he says is right. We need to find out why he says what he says. Is it, is it true?
Yes. Yeah. You have analyzed the same problem from another angle, from the angle of logic. The
Right.
fallacy of proof by authority.
Right.
Yeah. Proof has to be given using the correct canons for proof. If it is physics, physics has its own canon.
Right.
Chemistry has its own canon of proof. Mathematics has its own canon of proof. Uh, so proof has to be obtained or delivered with the help of the right set of criteria.
Exactly.
Authority of a person is not equal to proof.
Proof. Exactly.
So that also is part of discernment. We
Right.
have to teach people that just because a person throws around his authority doesn't mean that what he speaks is right.
Exactly. Okay, so we'll go to the next person who's also very much popular, and he also has a degree in science. So I'll just share his picture. This is Sri Ravi Shankar, a very pleasing, prominent man.
Very pleasing.
And so he is, if you look at it, he is from Karnataka. He's done his bachelor's in science, and of course, like he's also hailing from Tamil Nadu. His actual name was Ravi Shankar. So I'll just put this down for the moment. But I have some questions related to him. So
Welcome.
even he, if you look at that, he who is a BSc graduate, he talks about something about quantum physics related to meditation and other things. So, what I see continuously in all, like if you look at Nithyananda or Deepak Chopra or this Sri Ravi Shankar, all of them try to connect meditation with quantum entanglement and other factors. Here he's just talking about something. He's blabbering something which is very vague. Again, on the same aspects, but he is a BSc guy. So
Yeah.
now it comes now is he an expert
Yeah.
on this subject because he studied science, and is he is he doing it deliberately? That would be my question. Or is it is he just trying to
Oh.
put it in a philosophical way or metaphorical way? So that's the point.
Ravi Shankar is a very pleasing figure, no doubt about
Right.
that. But just because a person is pleasing, or just because a person has BSA in sciences, it doesn't mean that his claims are automatically proved, because that would be proof by the authority of a person. There is nothing like that in science. It is proof. If it is an empirical matter, it has to be proved with the help of empirical experiments.
Right.
Ravi Shankar talks about entanglement.
Right.
Entanglement is a concept. Um, it has been there at a mathematical level for long in quantum physics, but which has really been observed only in the last few years.
Right.
Uh, and entanglement is a reality. But you pick up a reality and then immediately you adopt it into spirituality, it doesn't work.
Right.
Please remember, it doesn't work. So what he is doing is he's picking up some familiar words from quantum physics and applying them
Hmm.
into the religious realm. That, that is not the way science works. If something is true, it has to be demonstrated empirically. He has done no demonstration. So again, it is a case of slogan. People
Right.
want to hear religious devotions.
Right.
People also want to hear high sounding science words, science vocabulary.
Right.
So what these people, including Sri, is doing is pick up some highly familiar and stunning science vocabulary and then give it a religious cover or religious color and present it.
Right.
Things that he said, they have no empirical proof. He said about the empirical world, and therefore the proof has to be empirical.
Right. Right.
If he had made a claim about spiritual matters, we
Right.
can say they are not empirical matters, so we don't claim empirical proof. But he made that claim about the empirical world, and therefore it has to be proved not by philosophizing, not through verbal manipulation, but
Right.
rather through empirical experiments. No
Right.
such experiments have been done, and therefore the claims he makes about entanglement and the whole universe being knit into one unit, there is no empirical proof for it. It is just humbug.
Right. So yeah, he's not spoken much, but like the way in which, so is it like, as I said, like, sometimes, to prove something, like science is respected like in every circle. So do religious people try to use science to give validity to their religious thoughts or philosophies? Is that the attempt going over here?
Yes, actually, a lot of religious leaders and those who make money, like Chopra, from religious discourses or religion like books,
Hmm.
they have found out that with increasing education, people are familiar with scientific terms. And therefore, if you weave those scientific terms into your religious discourse, people will be stunned. And that is exactly what these people are doing. They are weaving very well known
Hmm.
science terms, but taken from the higher levels of science, which people don't understand,
Understand. Right.
and weave them into their own religious narrative. That is what they are doing.
Right.
At the same time, if they pick up very simple things from science,
Hmm.
most educated people will be able to see that it is humbug. So
Right.
they pick up topics like special theory of relativity and general theory of relativity and quantum field equations and Einstein's field equations and um, cold dark matter and Hubble expansion and Hubble's theory, uh, and then drop with religious terms. So this is basically because people are becoming more educated. And to brainwash the educated people, you need terminology with which educated people are familiar, but which they really don't understand. That is exactly what is happening.
So here now, the like, we've looked at three people. Now the fourth person, he's the most popular on the list, I believe, because he's someone who's moved from the east to the west among celebrities, both everywhere, and he's met a lot of famous personalities, and like, in all the areas. So this guy is a big celebrity guru, uh, and I'll just put his picture up here. Uh, he is known as Sadhguru, the person who is
Sadhguru Jagdi
Vasudeva. So
Vasudeva.
his background is, he is, but he's not a science background. But people, the way in which he speaks, people think like, it's he must have done some engineering or some, because his one of his courses is called inner engineering.
Yes.
So but he himself is a bachelor's in degree in English literature from Mysore, Karnataka, and his actual name is Jagdish Vasudev. So. So like the he also talks much about yoga. He's got like big reach even among, as I said, like, celebrities, politicians, and a number of people. He makes like, a connection between yoga and something called as quantum entanglement. So could you like uh, this term, as I said, like Deepak Chopra uses quantum healing. He uses the term quantum entanglement to connect with yoga. He uses
Yes,
it with medicine.
yes,
So, can you explain, like, does what is actually quantum entanglement
yes,
in layman's terms to the layman people,
yes,
and
yes,
also, does it, like, why is he connecting this with yoga, and what is his agenda? What is, does
yes,
it have any scientific this
yes.
behind it, theory behind it?
First of all, let me tell you, Jaggi Vasudev, among all these godmen, he is a person who moves among the upper strata of society.
Right,
He plays golf,
right,
which is kept for the highest
elites,
level of people in society.
right,
So he has to influence those people.
right,
And to influence those people, he has to use vocabulary which would influence them. If you look at the richer segment in society, you would find that a lot of them don't have any higher degrees in science. They are actually entrepreneurs, and that is why they became so successful and so rich. And
right,
now that they are rich, they need an identity.
right,
Identity needs, financial needs are met, they have identity needs. So, with identity needs, when they meet a guru who works among the celebrities and among the rich, and if
right,
that guru also uses scientific vocabulary, then that scientific vocabulary entangles them. Let me use the word entangles them with the guru. And
right,
the guru is successful in entangling them into his pseudo scientific claims.
right,
Quantum entanglement is an old concept. It was a mathematical concept which has been demonstrated recently. Basically, entanglement means connection.
right,
If two entangled particles are kept billions of years away, light years away, and if
right,
a change takes place in one,
right,
a, a complementary change takes place in the other. That
right,
is entanglement.
right,
And they have demonstrated quantum entanglement in recent times, and much work is going on because if scientists can harvest quantum entanglement, they
right,
can make real good super quantum computers.
right.
Okay. Now coming to Jaggi Vasudev, let me tell you,
Hmm.
quantum entanglement is a truth. How
Right,
do we know that? Through experiments,
right.
empirical experiments.
Hmm.
But what Guru Jaggi Vasudev says, has anybody ever done any empirical experiment? And the answer is no.
Right,
Sitting in front of you, when I say that quantum entanglement will eventually become a big thing, I'm making this claim on the basis of what has been done in some of the top physics laboratories around the world based upon
right,
empirical truth.
right,
What he says, there is no empirical support. What
right,
he is doing is picking up some of the fantastic words from the world of science and spinning them and
right,
making a lassi and
right,
giving to you to drink. This is quantum lassi.
right,
Has nothing to do with quantum or entanglement.
right,
So all his claims about this quantum entanglement are absolutely false. Even scientists have been able to demonstrate quantum entanglement with great difficulty using equipment costing millions upon millions of dollars, not rupees, dollars.
right.
Just a guru coming
Hmm.
and appropriating those words
Hmm.
to propagate his religious or philosophical ideas, it is
Hmm.
just a manipulation of words.
Right. So now, like, we've looked into all those four people who are very much popular, and lot of people listen to them, like, and follow them blindly, whatever they say. And some of them use their credentials also, as I said before. So now, this question would be like, not just like, it's not just for Christians. It would be, I would say, open up for every person who has love for science. So how does a common man, like, or somebody who's got, like, is interested in quantum physics, quantum nuclear physics, and how can he understand that subject pretty well, first of all, and how can he evaluate whether what these people are saying is right or wrong on his own, like,
Yes.
on his own? For example, apart from you, like, us giving this, like, how can he do his own research and find out whether, and study about it?
Again, the answer is the same. We have to develop objective thinking, critical thinking, and discernment. Without discernment, critical thinking, objective thinking, nobody can analyze falsehood. Now,
Right.
not everybody can become an expert in quantum physics, but everybody can develop enough discernment not to be cheated.
Right.
See, somebody goes to, say, buy a refrigerator. A lot
Okay.
of models are shown,
Right.
and they even show him one functioning. And
Hmm.
suddenly he senses that there is something wrong.
Right.
And he says, no, I don't want this model.
Hmm.
This happens to all of us when
Right.
we buy advanced gadgets.
Right.
So we sense that there is something wrong, not because we understand every sort of every component of that gadget, but because of common sense.
Right.
Somebody goes to buy a washing machine, they give a demonstration, and there is a knocking sound.
Hmm.
And you decide not to buy it. Not
Right.
because you know what that knocking sound is, but because you know that you don't expect that from a well-behaved
Hmm.
machine. This is common sense. So we have to develop common sense. We have to develop discernment. We have to develop critical thinking. And
Right.
for that, you and I, we have to start educating people in that direction. And even today's interview,
Right.
um, among the many things which it does, one of them is educating people in common sense.
Right. So thank you so much, Dr. Johnson. It was really very much important because you are an actual quantum nuclear physicist and who's done this work, and you can also an apologist with critical thinking who can discern all these people. So I hope this would be very much beneficial to all the people listening to this, and they will not be fooled by the humbug talks of such people out there. So thank you so much. Would you like to add anything else,
Yes,
Dr. Johnson?
thank you. Thank you very much for listening patiently to this video. Uh, we request you to help this mission, one, by sharing this video. YouTube sharing videos is very easy. Also, please subscribe to this channel. Some changes have come to subscription. First of all, you have to click the subscribe button, and then you have to click the bell icon, not just clicking. There you have to choose all and then click the bell icon. And in this way, you will not miss any of our valuable videos. At the same time, each new subscriber that we get is an encouragement. Please remember, this is a non-profit work. We are not doing it for any kind of profit. Rather, we are investing our time and energy to educate you. And you can in turn bless us by becoming subscribers and also by encouraging others to subscribe. God bless you.